Hello and welcome to the SAP Business One Service Layer Script Engine e-learning session. My name is Trinidad Martinez and I'm part of the SAP Business One Solution Architects team. This session is entirely dedicated to the SAP Business One Service Layer Script Engine feature. The objectives are to understand how the script engine allows you to customize the behavior of SAP Business One entities, create your own customized OData entities and run them inside SAP Business One script engine, and group some business logic inside a global transaction. We will start with an introduction to understand what is the service layer script engine. We will learn how to implement and deploy a script to be executed by the service layer script engine. We will see how to consume the scripts, and finally, we will discover how to customize the provided JavaScript SDK to access your customized UDOs, UDTs, and UDFs. Let's start then with the introduction to script. How is this feature technically implemented? Service Layer Script Engine is an embedded JavaScript parsing engine. Partners can develop custom extensions as JavaScript files based on a JavaScript SDK that expose business services and business objects to implement the extensions. But what is the goal of this feature and what will be the benefits for partners? First benefit of the script engine is to allow the implementation of server-side JavaScript extensions that are hosted by the service layer. JavaScript extensions are accessible by all applications, just as standard service layer operations. Inside the script engine script, global transactions can group several operations. We will see more details in the coming slides. Let's have a look in detail on how to implement custom extensions with the script engine. A script engine JavaScript SDK provides a group of APIs to easily operate on business services and business objects. Some APIs will facilitate the implementation of the extensions like HTTP request and response, exception API, and login. The entity CRUD and query API expose all SAP Business One entities to perform CURD operations and query them. The Transaction API allows the management of global transactions inside the extensions. How are the extensions developed? For each one of the OData custom entities to be developed, a JavaScript file is created with extension .js. The JavaScript file has to implement the 4 HTTP commands to be exposed by each OData entity: post, get, patch, and delete, as shown in the present slide. Please pay attention, each entry function must be in uppercase. In this slide, we can see an implementation sample offering an OData entity that on the post command will simply add the comment added via SL script engine before creating a sales order. You can see 3 modules are added with the required function: the service layer context, on which all entities and services operations are exposed; the HTTP module, used to handle the HTTP request and response messages; and the entity type document module, exposing the document entity type that we will use to fill the sales orders properties. The HTTP request will contain the body of the post request, and we can obtain then all details provided by the caller. In our example, it contains the order properties to be set at the creation of the sales order. We create an entity type document named order variable on which we fill all sales orders data. On the service layer context, we call the orders.add operation to create the sales order. Finally, we generate the HTTP.response body with the required details that will be returned to the caller. In our case, we just return the doc entry of the generated sales order. The current example shows a more complex OData entity than previous one. This OData entity on the post command will create a global transaction encapsulating the creation of a sales order plus a delivery node based on the original order. In this slide, we see the creation of the sales order. The code creating the sales order is similar to the one in the previous slide. Differences are that before adding the sales order, we start a transaction with the service layer context. After adding the sales order, we check the response status. If not okay, we will roll back the transaction. If everything is okay, we continue inside our global transaction and call the order.create method to get the details of the newly created sales order based on the response from the add operation. Let's go to the next slide to follow up with this example. In this second part of the example, the delivery note document is created. We can see most part of the parameters are taken from the properties of the newly created sales order, like doc due date, car code, and the document lines properties. After the call to service layer context.deliveryNotes.add, if the delivery note.add operation is completed successfully, we commit the global transaction. If the delivery note.add operation fails, we roll back the global transaction. The http.response body will return the doc entry property for both the order and delivery note documents created to the caller of our script. Now that we have developed our first script, let's have a look to the process to deploy our custom OData entities in Service Layer. Once the different custom OData entities implemented as JavaScript files, we need to deploy them in the Service Layer. We can group several JavaScript files into a package called extension. The first two steps to create an extension are: first, create a .ard file describing your service layer script engine extension. Fill the header of this file with your details as a partner name, partner namespace, contact data, and so on. Details of your extension like extension name and version. The database type will be fixed to HANA, as service layer only runs on the HANA version of SAP Business One, and the client type needs to be fixed to S for script. The service layer scripts element will contain an entry for each one of the OData entities JavaScript files provided, each script being independent from each other. For each script, the name of the script that will be used for consumption afterwards and the name of the JavaScript file has to be provided. In a second step, you simply compress the .ard file and your javascript.js files into a zip file. Once the zip file representing your extension is ready, you just import this zip file through the SAP Business One extension manager. You need to go to the SAP Business One client, administration module, add-on administration form, and on this form select the Manage Extensions for Lightweight Deployment link. This will open a web page where you will have to press the Import button and then select the zip file containing your extension package. It will upload your package as a B1 extension. You will press Next and Finish to complete the installation. Once the zip file imported, you will have to assign each one of the OData entities JavaScript files to the corresponding SAP Business One company databases the OData entity needs to be exposed on. You will do that by going again to the SAP Business One Extension Manager, Company Assignment tab, and then select one by one the companies you want to assign your extension to. You can also set the default user preferences as well as specific preferences per user. Once all parameters specified, your OData entity is ready to be consumed. Once deployed in SAP Business One, how do we consume script engine extensions? When a script engine JavaScript is deployed, an OData entity is created by service layer. The entity will be then accessible in the service layer root path v1s v1, plus a script to avoid confusion between scripts and basic service layer entities, plus the partner namespace provided in the .ard deployment file, and the script name also provided in the .ard deployment file per each script. The OData entity name exposed by each JavaScript is then the script name parameter. You can call the different HTTP methods post, get, batch, etc. on the OData entity to execute via service layer script engine the different CRUD operations. In the current screen, you can see a sample calling a script called test transaction commit in the partner namespace SA. What is the JavaScript SDK generator tool? The script engine JavaScript SDK is provided ready to be used at service layer installation. So within your scripts, you're able to access SAP Business One entities and services. But this SDK contains only the standard SAP Business One entities and services. If your company database contains UDFs, UDOs, UDTs, and so on, the SDK will not reflect those customizations. The script engine JavaScript SDK generator tool allows you to regenerate the SDK, including your customizations. This tool is available in the bin folder inside your service layer installation path. Just execute it from a Linux terminal with one of the options shown in the slide, from a service layer instance-based URL or from a local metadata file. If no output folder is provided, the default folder where the SDK will be generated is bin v1s SDK. In the provided example, you see we are calling the metadata to JavaScript with -a giving the service layer based URL, -u who indicates the B1 user manager, -p for the password of the user manager that is 1234, and -c to specify the company database we want to generate our JavaScript SDK, that is SBO demo US. Once you have regenerated the SDK for your specific company database metadata, all your UDOs and UDTs will be available for a script engine to consume them. In the script provided in this slide, the post operation will create a record into the UDO name DMS route setting with a specific value as u_description property. After adding the record, the full DMS route setting record will be returned. We have now completed the SAP Business One Service Layer Script Engine e-learning session. I hope you have enjoyed this session and will continue your e-learning curriculum further. Thank you for your participation and see you soon.